Good morning and welcome to the market forecast. Hopefully, we'll have a nice solid one today with no buffering or other issues. Today is Thursday, June the 10th. I'm John Hoagland. Thanks for trusting me with your time as always. We're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and of course, as usual, patience. Well, today's the big day everybody's been waiting for. 7:30 this morning, the core CPI came out. They were looking for 0.4%, came out higher at 0.7%. Jobless claims, initial jobless claims, they were looking for 370, came in at 376. Continuing jobless claims a little bit lower than expected by about 100,000. So some mixed numbers there. Still waiting for nat gas here at 9:30. As far as how the markets have responded to this. U.S. equity futures were kind of mixed prior to the CPI release. Everything had a bit of a knee jerk as that came out. That's to be expected, but no major changes or moves here just yet that I'm seeing so far. A lot of markets near important inflection levels. Equities. We're still in balance right now, so balance rules remain. We'll talk about that shortly. The ECB policy statement made no changes in rates. Larger drop in crude inventories yesterday. They were just looking for about a 2 million barrel draw. It was a 5 million barrel draw. Fails to propel pricing higher. I guess the gasoline inventories was a bit of a shock with a 7 million barrel increase in gasoline inventories. As always, make sure you like, share, comment, question, feedback, and heckle are always welcome. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notifications when we do go live. VIX, nice drop after that number, about 3% lower at 17.38. Dollar index holding above 90 again at 90.17, and a nice little pop in rates after that CPI number came out, up back again at 1.53%. Be open to change, ladies and gentlemen. Things can change very quickly as these numbers are digested and investors and traders get past rollover. By the way, I'm still trading the June contract in the equities. Currencies, you can trade either. But as all of this gets digested and we get closer to the end of rollover, be open to change. It's really the only constant we have. Always have to say good morning to everybody. Good morning, Frederico. Hello, welcome. Glad to see you. You're the first one in the room. You win the prize. Richie, coaching was great. Always learning. Thanks for answering all of our questions. My pleasure, Richie. Anything that I can do, I'm going to do. Theo, good to see you this morning. Bill, Tone, Bill, very good group coaching, and thanks to the Dr. Menaker as always. That session will be on YouTube in the next couple of days. If you weren't able to come, I thought it was pretty interesting and helpful. Hopefully, we answered quite a few questions from the folks that were there. Love to see more people there. The next one I think is July 14th. That's the Wednesday. July 14th is the next market therapy session. Good morning, Brian, Deanna, Cesar, James, good to see you. Greg H., good to see you. Murph, good morning. Andres, Jerry is awake. I hope I am too. We've got a lot to do here this morning. Laura, good morning. Jay Gilmo, the chef, Mr. Magianes, is here. Colin, Taurus Trader, good morning. It's good to see you. Brad Generous, good morning. Tim G. Allen, Joe West, Mr. Shines, Mystery Channel, yo, peeps, good to see you. Subconscious, always good to see you. Rob T. and Vici, good morning. Patience, Sean Miller, all patience, prudence, profit. There you go. Outstanding. All right, so a lot kind of going on in these markets. I'm not necessarily seeing huge moves that many people were probably expecting, but let's jump in and take a look at these charts. Let me get the daily and crude following protocol here. All right. This is a little bit ridiculous. And here we go. All right, so Is our upside auction showing any signs of aging? We get a pretty directional move to the upside, still kind of one time framing higher. Hennick, Lemur, good morning. Switching to September in the equities markets, the S&P. I'm switching tomorrow. DJ, good to see you. I'm switching tomorrow. The volume is still kind of overwhelmingly in the June contract in our equities. Currencies, you can trade either one today. I'm going to be probably switching to the September contract for both the equities and the currencies tomorrow. Hello, Komen from India. Good to see you. All right, so are we showing signs of aging? Oh, and by the way, we are also coming into the week of rollover. The week rollover for the July contract into the August contract is scheduled for a week from today. So welcome to another rollover. Volume and open interest lower on overlapping the higher range. Does that mean that the auction is slowing? Maybe we took a little bit of profits off yesterday before the number today. The number today obviously has traders looking to the upside. Last week's high was going to be pivotal this morning. It's been left behind, and we see the market attempting to get to the extended trading hour high from yesterday. That'll be an interesting area. Above that, we're going to be looking at weekly kickoff high onto the 30-minute. So looking like we've probably left the opening range relatively close to the low of the session, if not the low of the session. There was no overnight inventory, no real knee jerk to the number that came out at 7:30 this morning. Nothing really huge happened, maybe a little bit of an upside knee jerk that seems to be continuing. It looks like we are rejecting value from yesterday. We've got these highs up here to look for opportunity, and then above that, 71.20. Last week's high, we were kind of looking at that as kind of magnetic because the last two sessions have involved last week's high, regular trading hour sessions. If we're not going to involve it today, we may look for a move towards weekly kickoff high. Again, we've got a little bit of work to do to get through these highs here. So this might be an opportunity for us. If that doesn't hold, we look to see if we can get a true test of that 71.20 weekly kickoff high and into the S&Ps. So I'm going to be rolling over tomorrow. This is the daily chart. We've got an area of balance here. We've got another area of balance here. We've got lots of areas of balance in the neighborhood. Boom, 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 boom. If we can't take out our all-time high, and if we can't bring in new business to the upside, I think all of these balance areas that are overlapping and close together and coming back and then coming back up to it is an indication of a potential aging of the upside auction. We've got some work to do up here. We've got last week's high. We've tested above it in the overnight. We tested to the low of balance in the overnight. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 days really in this area of balance. We're in rollover today, which, this is the big day when most of the rolling over will go on. So you can imagine that if I'm a longer time frame trader and I've got a lot of contracts to roll over, I don't want to go directional today. I want to stay relatively range bound so I can work my spreads and so I can leg my spreads and get a cheap rollover. You can save yourself a lot of money as a larger trader by doing that. The CPI knee jerk, well, let's take a look here. The knee jerk was to the kind of the low of the balance of this current 4-day area here. Balance rules. When we are in balance, we fade the extremes of the balance unless there's an accepted breakout, and then we go with the breakout. We've got kind of a zone up here above last week's high, and then the all-time high, which does remain in the overnight session as a kind of a zone to look for those opportunities. It's going to be tough. It's going to be just kind of thinking about, when we get up there, it's going to be kind of a big area. Where are we at here? We're at 43, 42, 32 up to 43. What was that high over here? Up to 43, 42, 38. So 38, not too big a zone to 32. So a 6-handle zone there. So there's going to be fish here one way or another. There's some fish up here. Be careful you don't get hooked on a log or a rock down at the bottom. Here's the 30-minute chart. No real overnight inventory. The knee jerk to the downside, basically near the low of the week, of this week. This is last week's high. This is weekly kickoff high. Knee jerk to the downside, coming back up into value from yesterday. So this isn't necessarily indicative of a bigger move. The market really just came back into value from yesterday, which tells me it's likely maybe to be a day that I'm going to be able to relax and look for opportunities as the day goes on. We've got the high of our balance area here. If we break out above that, we go and we accept, we go with it. We've got our low of the balance area here. If we break out with some volume, we go with that. Outside of that, we're looking to find opportunities to limit our risk while fading this range, because the market really just came back into value. Right now, the way it looks, and traders will digest this and investors will change things. Remember, our longer time frame, probably not all that hot on getting too directional today. They will, but only if you poke the bear or the bull, as the case may be. So opening back in range and value, there's no change really in the perception of value of the S&Ps right now. So I'm going to try and stay patient. We are thinking there's some fish up here. Direction unknown. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Same, but different. I don't know how you guys trade this. Gives me heart palpitations. Okay. September again tomorrow. Weekly kickoff high. Last week's high. Pivotal. Okay. We've played with it for the last 4 sessions. If we get the opportunity to look at it today, it might provide an opportunity. Balance rules again. 1, 2, 3, 4 days in balance. Important inflection level right in the middle of it. 30-minute chart. No overnight inventory. Whoops. Hold on. Hang on. Simmer down now. Simmer down. Okay. So no overnight inventory. Settlement is right here where we just passed back through it. Back into range. Back into value from yesterday. So again, similar situation. There is potential for change today, but so far we're just not seeing it. The opportunities are likely to come as the day goes on. I don't want to push too much early in the session. Let's look at gold briefly here. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, now 5 touch points on this lower trend line of this longer time frame move to the upside. The knee jerk this morning was right pretty much to it. Upside structure still remains. We're in an area of balance here. Low volume yesterday. We're already at volume total for today. A lot of folks just waiting it out from yesterday. And again, centrally located between weekly kickoff high and low and last week's high and low. We're in short time frame control here, ladies and gentlemen. There's just, we did add 2,900 in open interest yesterday. interesting. What does it mean? Well, here's the point of control that we were pointing out might be a target for the downside. Look where the knee-jerk reaction was after the number. Now look where we are. We're right back. We had some overnight inventory. We knee-jerked lower, found support at this naked point of control. Now we're right back to settlement. We've reconciled the overnight inventory, and this is giving us, if we didn't catch this move, it's giving us an opportunity to look for trade locations and better trade locations as the day goes on. There was a gap. It was pretty instantly closed. Short time frame control. Short time frame control. Point of control support. Last week's high, perhaps resistance. We just traded up to, guess where? Yesterday's point of control, or close enough for rock and roll. So, I'm looking to see if we accept inside yesterday's area of value. We've got to spend a little time, build a little volume there, but that could push us back up to the high of value from yesterday. Again, I'm going to try and stay patient. There may be better trade locations as the day goes on. Something is telling me that if we didn't catch this move down to this point of control and to that trend line on the daily chart, we may have missed the best trade location of the day. So be patient. Wait for change. And the 6E, the euro. Nothing very exciting going on here. I'm still in June today. I'll be September tomorrow. Open interest and rollover. We added 49,000 in open interest yesterday. That, I believe, is more of a function of rollover and not directional. Obviously, we're relatively centrally located. We've got a lot of time spent here. So, non-directional open interest, part of rollover. Short time frame controlled, fourth day of balance, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 or 6 days now, 5 days at least in this area of balance, short time frame control. Okay, so similar to kind of gold, but now kind of coming off. We had a little bit of overnight inventory that was actually reconciled before the open. Settlement is right here, 121.80 and a half ticks. The knee jerk to the downside, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This week's low. Didn't see that one coming. So the knee jerk to the downside, back into range and value, now just kind of floating around, trying to re-accept inside value, perhaps. If so, that could bring us back to the upside. Rejection of value from yesterday could bring a test back down to the knee jerk low and the weekly low. This week's low. Pretty decent moves here in the 10-year for the last couple of days. Let's start with the daily. Okay, so we had some pretty directional move here to the upside. It really just kind of right along with the trend lines and the upside structure that we've got here. We've been, looking at rates, and rates have fallen off a little bit, but we got a little pop in them today after the numbers came out. We lost 82,000 in open interest on this move to the upside, but most of this was overnight. Most of the activity, most of the volume, which occurs in the daily session, was in the opposite direction. I'm thinking that was not a short covering drop in open interest. I'm thinking there was some long liquidation up at this level. Now we see that the little pop in the rates and the market has come off and is now holding back below weekly kickoff high. This could provide a decent opportunity. There's confluence there in the short time frame in value low from yesterday, longer time frame inflection. Just brought it up above there, and I think a whole bunch of longs just took some profits, and now they're maybe going to get an opportunity to look for a chance to get back into those longs at lower pricing. What do we have? Well, we've got a point of control here. There's a gap down to here. There's another point of control. We've got last week's high right in that area. So it looks like there may be some fish here. It's not going to be that easy to find. I'll be looking for best trade location, the optimal trade location on anything I do in the 10 years today. So let's see here. I think we made it. I think we made it. I think we did. We got all the way through the profile, through the forecast, and no buffering, no problems. Got the charts. Everything was solid. I'm very happy about that. Our good friend Dan was apologizing, or I'm sure he's going to apologize for missing his opportunity to speak to you on the market recap yesterday. And I'm sure that he will be ready and waiting for you today. If not, maybe I'll be there. And looking forward to an interesting trading day. You know, there's not the big changes that some traders were expecting, but it doesn't mean it can't happen later. There's some digestion that's got to go on here. I think it doesn't help. I think it helps the markets kind of remain somewhat range bound. The fact that we are in rollover in the equities and in the currencies, and you know, just look for good trade locations, look for areas at extremes, look for areas of previous rejection so you can get that chance to limit your risk. And in limiting your risk, you may be expanding your profit target. Thanks to all of those that came to group coaching yesterday and to market therapy. I think we had a couple of really good sessions. The market therapy should be on the YouTube channel in the next couple of days, and check it out. You know, I think it's such a treat or an honor to have the good doctor here. You know, we really appreciate him spending the time with us, and I'm kind of surprised more people aren't taking advantage of it. I mean, you get to ask the head stretch, you know, specific questions to you. So, but we'll keep doing that, and you know, looking forward to seeing all of you there. All right, I'm going to take my deep breath. We got a little bit of time here before the equity open. That always makes me happy. Humble, grateful, and creative today, and patient, and open to change. Open to change. The only constant is change. Trade well today, everybody. Have a great trading day. Looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow morning, tomorrow, Friday. Friday already. Boy, sometimes these weeks really just fly by. So I'm looking forward to seeing you. Trade well. Get out there and profit. We'll see you later.